Tonight's episode of the Sunday Night Talk is brought to you by the Running It Back Network. That's where you can find all my videos. That's right, I have my interviews up there. I have my movie series up there. Not to mention, I have a long-form interview up there that I just put up last week. So check them all out, my comedy stand-up clips up there as well. Tonight on the Sunday Night Talk, it's week 4. Omar joins me, and we have a whole lot to discuss. Before we get to the episode, I want to remind you, you can see me doing live stand-up comedy this week, October 4th, 7:30 p.m. I am in West Hollywood at Tail O the Pub hosting a comedy variety show. Should be a lot of fun. Come on out. Let me know you're coming if you are as well. Today on the show, Omar's Niners are victorious, my Raiders are not, and a little Taylor Swift. We talk about it. It's all here on the Sunday Night Talk, so sit back, enjoy. It is week 4. It is Sunday night. It's time for the Sunday Night Talk. Omar Carmona joins me. It is 9:06 p.m. on the West Coast as we record this. We wrapped up Jets, Chiefs, a very interesting end to a Sunday in the NFL. Omar Carmona joins me. He is the future judge of the 65th Court District. Campaign Carmona is with me. How are you, my friend?
We're doing well. We're doing very well. We're campaigning. We're speaking to a lot of kids and speaking to a lot of parents and teachers. We're spreading the word, all the dangers the kids are getting into. So we're good.
Yes, I saw you had a couple more public speaking engagements this last week. You were at a school. You were at like a women's conference as well. You're taking selfies. You're a man of the people, Omar. So from now on, whenever you want to give a speech, you indicate to me and I will play you in. Here you go. Here's a little example.
Ooh, I like that.
Omar Carmona, everybody. Please welcome him to your middle school, Elks Lodge, or
I like that.
biker rally. Omar Carmona, thank you for being here. So that will be your intro from now on.
I like it.
So week 4 in the NFL, we have a lot of things to talk about. We have all the games. We have Sunday night. We have more Taylor Swift talk to get into. So let's start at Sunday night because
let's start. Let's talk about Sunday night. Are you done with all the Taylor Swift talk? I mean, is it too much, or do you think it just now adds another element to the NFL?
Oh, I can't get enough. I think it adds another element to the NFL. We have another fan base that potentially is coming into the NFL. We have all these conspiracy theories about which game she's going to be at. Is this a stunt? Is this even a real thing that is before us? Like, is this a real relationship? We have to ask that question as well. And so far right now, it's fun. I think we have a few more weeks before it becomes totally overkill, though.
I think it does bring a new element to the game, a very big celebrity. And, not only a big celebrity, but like she's, in the middle of this historic tour. I mean, the Eras tour is breaking all sorts of records. And I mean, she definitely has now reached global superstar, dare I say, Michael Jackson status.
So I was fully ready to text you at halftime. Are we going to start early? Is this going to be one of those early Sunday Night Talk recordings where we don't care about the Sunday night game? Because the biggest story going into this game was Taylor Swift. That's it. Did we really think the Jets were going to be this competitive today?
We didn't, especially with Zach Wilson. He moved the football today, So
yeah.
I was pleasantly surprised with the game. It looked like a laugher the first quarter, but it's amazing how 2 good quarters for the Jets really brought them back into it.
And Mahomes had 2 picks. He should have had 3. He almost had 4 with that pass interference call that negated it. Zach Wilson was one bonehead drop a snap away from taking the lead. I think that drop snap killed the whole game. It's almost like they were climbing up the mountain all game and then they stumbled once and it was just too much. Not to mention three huge Mahomes runs to really drive the dagger
Yep.
into it. I know the Jets played great, but I mean, you have to feel horrible after this loss. This the way you lost. Mahomes put it to you at the end, and they played great. This was the defense we were promised in the preseason, and they were really, really on Mahomes' case all game long with sacks and
It was
interceptions, and it was impressive by the defense.
it was definitely though demoralizing for the Jets to lose that way, especially because they fought so hard to get back in the game. But I think that this was a team that the fans were calling for Zach Wilson's head. You know,
Mhm.
um, they're making a big deal because Kaepernick even sends a letter saying he wants back in the league and
Oh,
and
please.
which is basically like a slap in Wilson's face. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Just like who really would do that? Um,
Guy who
so
wants to stay in the
it just
limelight.
seemed.
That's who.
Well, yeah, I think that was more a move just to stay in the limelight. I think that's a move where they're going to say no, but you just want them to say no
Mhm.
in public. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. I mean, that's become
But
Kaepernick's
nonetheless,
MO over the last
I
5 years
think
is just try and stay in the NFL conversation. So that's you're right. I think it was
right.
throw it
But
out there
nonetheless,
publicly.
they were calling for his head. The media was calling for his head. The fan base, he didn't play bad. And the Jets, they're not supposed to be competitive without Aaron Rodgers. So, we'll see. I mean, I'm not saying they're going to make the playoffs, but
No.
they're not terrible. They're not they're not they're not Chicago Bears bad.
Oh no, no, the Chicago Bears bad is another realm. That's a whole nother room to it. If this is the Jets, then they can win, 10 games if this is how they play, because they played out of their skin today. The defense was great. Zach Wilson had the whole middle of the game where he looked like a first string quarterback on 10 good NFL teams.
Right.
He wasn't just dumping the ball off, getting lucky. He was making those 15-yard
He
out
was making some
passes.
good throws.
Right. And he
Yeah.
still missed
So
a
he was
few.
hitting the sidelines.
Hmm.
Yeah, he was tight windows. I mean, yeah. So I think it's something to build on. But hey, and the Chiefs are the Chiefs. They're gonna find ways to win. I think that you still call them the favorite. That they are still the kings of the AFC until they're not, right?
Yeah.
Um, so I think I know there's been all this talk about, you and I have been high on the Dolphins. I think, the all this talk about this hype about the Bengals and this hype about the Bills. Um,
Well,
I get it, but here we are. The Chiefs are back on top of the conference.
yeah, that's a good point. I'll get into how I categorize this Sunday, but I think the Chiefs really like took the Jets' best shot today because the Chiefs were not great in this game in the middle of it. Kelsey didn't catch
Chiefs
a
were not
pass
great.
for like 2.5 quarters. And the other thing the Jets were doing really well is as soon as a Chiefs receiver would catch a ball, they were tackled really quickly. We didn't see a lot of those catch, break a tackle, and big runs in nearly as much as we have in the past with the Chiefs as well. Going back to Zach Wilson and just getting hammered before the game, even I don't know if you heard this, Rodney Harrison in the pregame, the NBC pregame says, I was just watching the Jets pregame 7-on-7. Zach Wilson is missing open guys. I'm like, this guy's getting it from all directions. And from the pregame, just in his warm-ups are being scrutinized as well. And
Right.
I just hate the way he went out today with a simple fumble off his thigh was really it. They lost the ball like on the 50. They very well could have been going into tie or maybe take
That
a
was
lead in that
disappointing.
game.
It was disappointing.
Yeah, and then the defense had, I
It was
think, three third downs, which the Chiefs all converted. That was just the nail in the coffin. It was over and done before
And,
The
and
Jets
and you
got the
know
ball back.
that converted first down, that should have been a hold. I mean, even from the TV, that lineman held that number 11 linebacker. That was an obvious hold that they missed. So that first down,
On the final Mahomes.
yeah, that last,
Yeah.
yeah, the final scramble to.
Yeah, that was one. We had the defensive holding on the cornerback also gave the Chiefs that first down from the flipping the interception as well.
Do do you feel that with Tom Brady gone, is now the most protected quarterback in the NFL Patrick Mahomes?
I think it's far and
But
away. Yeah.
sorry, protected by the referees.
I don't know if it's conscious, but yeah, he's the poster boy of the NFL. He's the reigning multiple MVP, multiple Super Bowl champion. I think it is, even if it's not a conscious decision. I know it's not a conscious decision, but I mean, they protect quarterbacks. We've seen so many sacks or when the quarterback throws the ball that they get grazed and they get that call. I think Mahomes is the
Right?
top of that list by far. I think it's an easy one to say that. The other thing was Zach Wilson, and just like talking about quarterbacks, I'm fully ready to give Chris Collinsworth the title of the Zach Wilson apologist. He loved Zach Wilson in this
He
game.
loved Zach Wilson. He
He
did.
loved, he loved it, and Zach
But
Wilson was playing well.
I think that's fair because Chris Collinsworth, I wouldn't say has been easy on Zach Wilson. So I think it was nice to see that he got some Collinsworth respect.
Here's a quote. I'm not going to put it in my quote of the day, but here's a Chris Collinsworth quote during the game. You can't play quarterback better than this. Omar, if I told you that was Chris Collinsworth quote, how many guesses would it take you before you guessed he's talking about Zach Wilson?
Yeah. I would
31?
only I think in
32?
the league. No, I think in the league right now you could only like just talk about only a handful of quarterbacks you think of. Your Tuas, your Josh Wilsons, your Jalen Hurts, Ace,
Mahomes,
my quarterback.
Herbert. Yeah, it would be a
My
far way.
quarterback is looking pretty close to perfect every now and then.
All right, I'm
Um,
holding you back. We're not at the games yet, Omar. Let's stick to the
all right,
format.
all
All
right,
right.
all right, all
I
right.
know you're coming in hot because you had your fun game again today. The Jets D. How much are you impressed by it, and can they keep this up? I almost feel like this D needs a nickname, like the old school days,
No,
because they
they
were
gotta win
excellent
some.
today.
I'm sorry, they gotta win a few games first.
Two interceptions against Mahomes. I think they had more than two sacks as well. And you're not impressed by the defense.
No, no,
No?
I'm impressed. I'm impressed by them. The question is, are you impressed? Yes, I'm impressed. But to say that it's time to give them a name, no, absolutely not. You gotta have only teams that 12 that are 12-4 of yesteryear, now 13-4, 12-5. You gotta have a record like that to even come close to having some sort of nickname.
I think you start a nickname, start a fire,
No,
build some team, build some some team
you
spirit.
okay, if you wanna nickname, fine, but you gotta keep that in the locker room. You gotta
Yeah,
win
well
some
that's where
games
it
first.
starts. They have to win. They gotta unveil the nickname after a win, and then they can start it up. But you need a good nickname. That's where the thinking needs to start. That's why you got to start thinking of a good one now. Something New York based, something defense, something ominous. Like we start thinking of it now because if that defense plays the way they did today against a non-Chiefs offense, um, they can really, really do something. I mean, they spotted them 17 points in the beginning. That was too big a hole.
Right.
But and the Chiefs really looked like they were on their heels in the middle of this game. And then lastly, all right, where did you stand on that defensive holding pass interference that took away the interception? Do you think that was the correct call?
No, I that was a tough call. I don't know. That to me that was a coin flip. How about you?
Well, I mean, well, answer the question. Is it a coin flip? Would you have called it or would you have not have called it?
I don't think I would have called it.
All right. I have I told you I got my sound effects back. Every time you make a point, you get the guitar
Okay.
riff.
Nice. I like it.
Yeah, there was a bunch of offensive, defensive calls that were questionable today before we get to my ridiculous Raiders game. There was a lot of those that, like, a series earlier was like, oh, that was a little push, but they're going to call that in the NFL. A series later, a little push, non call. It was tough. And I really hate it when it comes down to a deciding call like that, where you're like, I guess. Like, let's go back to the Super Bowl last year. That defensive hold on the
Yeah.
hip decided the game as well. So Chiefs win. One or no Jets game is complete without one last Coach Saleh freak out at the end of the game. He gets a unsportsmanlike penalty because he's so hyped. I feel for him. I mean, that was heartbreaking. That was a heartbreaking loss. I felt bad about that game. And then the other thing the reason why I wanted to see the Jets win, I think we needed to see how Taylor Swift reacts to a Chief loss. We need to
Oh,
see where this relationship is. Like, okay, it's all fun and games when you win and then you go out to dinner, but I need to see a loss reaction. We need to see
will
if
there
this
be
relationship is real.
are you thinking there should be like some sort of public, a mercy hug, type
Mm-hmm.
kiss outside the locker room, like there has
Yeah, yeah, yep, that'd be good. Like when the spouses come down to the sideline and they give them the hug before they go into the locker room, the players, we need to see that reaction as well. Okay, I revised my conspiracy Taylor Swift thoughts because last week, not only had I said, yeah, they're dating and they probably have already had sex by now, I'm going to revise it. I think they just met last week at the Kansas City game. That video of them walking out was a little weird. So I say they just met, and I'm a little on the side of this is a publicity stunt. Number one, she's got her movie coming out. Number two, this was a New York game. She lives in New York. Good publicity time there. Travis Kelsey, a bit of a fame whore too. The guy had his
he
own
is.
dating show a year ago. So I'm thinking this is a total publicity stunt. Maybe it's turned into a few dates. So here's my thought. I want you to be Taylor Swift's publicist.
I think it's definitely a publicity stunt. But okay, go on.
Okay, I did a quick little study. Taylor Swift, say the Chiefs make the Super Bowl. Taylor Swift will be on tour in Tokyo at the time. So she will not be at the Super Bowl, most likely. Say the Chiefs make the Super Bowl. Okay, pretend you're Taylor Swift's publicist and you want her to date an NFL player. Is Kelsey really the best one to choose? Like, it seems like a stretch. So I round down a quick list.
No, I think that's the guy. I think this is the guy. Personality, I think the tight end has we're in this golden age of the tight end. It's all of a sudden the cool position because these guys are passing, running, blocking, hitting, tackling. They're deflecting passes, if they're going to be intercepted, so it's a new breed. So I think this is the right time for a tight end to have this position. So yes, I am for
Mm-hmm.
Kelsey.
You know what I like the most of this? I really like the way Travis Kelsey's mom interacts with Taylor Swift in the box. Like they're already best friends in the box, cheering and laughing and stuff. Like they already look very chummy as well. Okay, I came up with four different names that we could have replaced Kelsey with as a potential Taylor Swift date. I'm going to throw them at you. I want you to tell me if they're better or worse. Number one pick, Tua. What if I'm the publicist and said, all right, you got to get with Tua. Better or worse than Travis Kelsey?
Worse for Taylor.
How come?
I think look, Tua's a young stud quarterback. He's in Miami. He's in South Beach. I'm just thinking the Tua thing isn't it's not being with Taylor and the Taylor lifestyle. That's not Tua's thing.
No, but think of it as a publicity stunt.
I
I,
no,
I
I
I'm with
I
you
don't
for
even.
Tua. It's bad because I think he's shy and he's already got enough pressure. But if you're just picking a name, what do you think about Tua?
Yeah, okay, I like it.
Yeah, you're not picking. You're not love maker here, love match guy. You're just the publicist. All
Okay,
right, second name, Dak Prescott.
I don't like it.
No, how come? No on
No,
Dak. Too many losses.
too many losses. The Dallas Cowboy. Then
Mm.
you know the following that the Cowboys have. Um, does Taylor want the to feel the boos when people are booing her, just like Carrie Underwood was attacked unfairly and Jessica Simpson was attacked unfairly at times with Tony Romo.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I think they're a no.
I don't think the Cowboy fans would boo her per se. I think when the Cowboys start losing,
Oh,
they
I
would.
think they would. Yeah.
After today,
I mean, no, she'd be a queen today.
yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. If she is Dak's girl and they're winning, I think they're all about her. I mean, the other thing is too, the tight end position is so perfect because you don't really ever blame the tight end for losses. So it's not like you can really say like, oh, this is a distraction. Like it might be genius that you went Travis Kelsey. All right, next name, Jared Goff.
If you're Taylor Swift's publicist, you do not like it.
Mm. How come? Detroit not a good market?
Not a good. I can't
Yeah.
have my best. I can't have my best girl at Ford Field.
That's what I would go with that too. That'd be my argument. And Jared Goff a little stiff. Last name, Christian McCaffrey.
Oh, that's huge.
That's my pick. That's the one I like the
oh, that's a
most.
good one. That's a
Mm-hmm.
good one. That's like all the Christian stars aligned right
Mm-hmm.
there. You
Mm-hmm.
know.
Yes. Good families. We're in a good market. We're on the West Coast. We're at a good team. That's another one if I'm
You
the
may have
publicist.
you may have found the one,
Mm-hmm.
but I think McCaffrey's taken, right?
Is he? That was my question because I
I
was
don't
gonna
know.
go.
I think
He
he
might
does have
be.
a girlfriend. I think he's engaged or something. He may even be married, but that'd be an interesting follow-up. I think that would add some more fuel to the Niners Chiefs rivalry.
Yeah.
That would take on something if CMC was a rebound.
Yeah. Yeah. I think if I'm thinking strictly publicity stunt, I think, how many names did I go through before I got to Travis Kelsey? Interesting pick. Well, Kansas City is at Minnesota next week. So now all eyes are on the Minnesota luxury box for the Chiefs. Will she be at this game? I thought she looked good today too. Like she didn't wear Chiefs gear in the box today. She just wore shorts and a black shirt. I thought that was interesting. No Chiefs gear and a bit of a celebrity packed luxury box as well. So definitely eyeballs have come to this game that are not football fans. Now I really am wondering how long this is going to last. I think I went through the season last week and
I
I don't know. I don't know. This is a
Yeah, I
great
don't
story
know.
though.
It depends on the type of season I think they're having. But I think hey, they could get on a hot run, they're still the Chiefs.
Okay. Um Sunday games. I have three. There were three types of games today. These are the three categories I made: the bounce back, the red flags, and the confirmations. Bounce back teams were Dallas, Buffalo, Denver, Minnesota. Red flags: Chicago, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, Las Vegas, New England. And in confirmation, San Francisco, Rams, Baltimore, Philly are my three categories today. I think Dallas bounced back, huge win. They beat New England. I think Buffalo was still bouncing back from week 1, to be honest, and they're finally on track where they should be now. Denver,
Uh,
I mean, they got beat by 70 points and they won, so I think you got to give that
that's a
automatic
big
bounce
bounce back.
back.
No, that's a bounce back because then you still go to the road. They're still on the road, and so I think that's definitely, and that's a game that Josh Fields had to
Mm,
have. I thought he had to have that
you
game.
thought so? I watched highlights of it, and Fields has really good plays in this game. And then they have, I mean, they blow it at the end, of course. They go for it on fourth, they don't get it. Then Denver gets the ball, and then they score. It's so brutal for Chicago because they just Fields is so good, and I think the coaching outdid him today. But he has like 8 great plays in there with his feet. He even threw the ball really well. And then what was my other bounce back? Minnesota. Not even did they bounce back. Kirk Cousins throws a pick six and bounces back. This is just what Minnesota does. I thought they bounced back today as well. Buffalo, Miami. I don't, for some reason, this game wasn't really overly hyped. I mean, this was the best matchup of the day, and it wasn't a good game. But like, I flipped it on. I was like, oh, it's already, it's already the second quarter. I forgot about this game.
Yeah, but that was a good game. Hey, um, Buffalo flexed. That
Yeah,
was a flex game.
yeah. Miami really was not competitive with them. Buffalo really had their number all game long. I think it was 48-20.
Yeah,
Big,
that was
big.
a big fact. Hey, how about Cincinnati?
Yeah.
What happened to those guys?
Yeah, well, let's go into the red flags. Cincinnati, this is teetering on this is the off year for the team.
Yeah,
Burrow is on his back every other play.
Jamar
Bucks.
Chase is Jamar Chase is complaining. I think after the game, he said that he's not getting the ball enough, no, or that he's always fucking wide open. I mean,
Oh yeah,
ugh,
yeah, yeah. They're already mad at
that's
each other.
you don't want your star receiver talking about like that. Just weeks after your quarterback gets that huge payday. I mean, it's just that's just not that just can't be good for morale.
Well, do you think there's any hope for Cincinnati? Are you on it like I'm thinking this is the off year, or
I
do you see like a
No, I mean
Detroit
the thing
last
is
year?
there's talent there, so I don't know. And I think I think Coach Taylor's good. I don't know what's wrong with these guys. You know, they should be playing better, but they show no signs of life, right? I mean, it'd be one thing if just a few bad bounces, a few unlucky, but they're getting their asses kicked and they're not doing anything about it, you know?
Yeah, Tennessee 27-3. So would you say this is Cincinnati's off year, or do you think they can rally this year?
They have the team that's capable of rallying. Talent wise, they have a team that can, but I just don't see any fight in those guys.
So you're kind of
So
sounds
I'm
like you're
gonna
more
say
on my
that
side.
I'm kind of sounding like it has to start their next game. I mean, if they take another loss the next game, then yeah, then I'd say over. So ask me next week. There you go.
All right, Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh took one seriously on the chin today against Houston. Another
Hey,
lopsided one,
but
30
but
to
but
6. CJ Stroud looked
Houston,
good.
good player, good player,
Mhm.
strong player. Um,
And then
um,
Pickett gets injured.
yeah,
So
you
that's why I
know,
put them in the red flag. Bad loss,
yeah,
quarterback
bad
injured.
loss. They lose their quarterback, but it's not like Pickett was, lighting it up. So
Hmm.
I'm not saying that they wanted their quarterback hurt, but that can't be good. But hey, who's their backup? I don't even know.
Trubisky. Trubisky
Oh,
got in there.
man.
Right.
Oh,
Is just Trubisky just going to be in our lives for the
yeah,
next 10 years? Like is he going to be the football's version of David Arquette where everybody knows his name but maybe not for good reasons?
would you call that like McCown territory?
Yes, I would. I would call it I would call it McCown. That's a good one. Yes. He is slowly he's like the character in the sitcom that nobody likes. Yet he's been on 8 seasons of the sitcom. He's
Right.
Gunther from Friends. That's what Mitch Trubisky is. He is Gunther from Friends. New England. Is this really how it ends for Bill Belichick? Is this going to be it? That was horrible. That was horrible. He's
Worst
mad at
game in
Mac
his
Jones on the
career.
side. Whew, that was
That
bad.
defense, that defense looks that defense looks good. San Francisco has them next week. They better be ready. That's a good defense. That's a good defense. I
All right, you want?
still I'm still gonna, I don't mean I'm sure we're gonna talk about this game um you know leading up. It's Cowboys Niners week,
Mm-hmm.
but that's this game concerns me as a Niners fan.
Next week's Dallas game. Well, let's talk your Niners right now then. They beat Arizona 16-35. I had trap game written all over this one.
And it was looking
Arizona gave it a little fight, which a lot of these games did for some reason. And San Francisco took care of business. That's why I put them down to my confirmation win.
Yeah, they took care of business, and that was in that, they weathered the storm, and then they just put the game away. And the offense looked very efficient. Debo Samuel didn't even get a catch today. It's
Is that
like,
right?
yeah, I mean, how
Oh my
crazy is
God.
that? Like, and so it only goes to show you that this system can succeed even with a superstar player like Debo Samuel not registering a catch. I don't know if that was by design. I mean, you never know, but they can win. They can win games.
Mm-hmm.
The defense looked a little shaky. There was some, and I'm glad. I think this game is gonna give good, playing tape that they can really see some weaknesses that I think Dallas could possibly expose. Especially with their wideouts. CeeDee Lamb's very athletic, and that San Francisco secondary, they're going to be tested. So I'm looking at a good game. I still think I still think the 49ers are a better team, but it wouldn't shock me. I'm picking the Niners
Mm-hmm.
for obvious reasons. I'm one my team, but I still think they are the better team, and they're at home. But it wouldn't shock me if Dallas wins.
Wow, you're
I'm
very
going Niners.
cautious right now.
Yeah, but I'm going Niners.
Where are you on Brock Purdy? You said you wanted to talk about him. I had to
Hey
hold
man,
you
he's
back.
he's playing. He's very efficient, and he's not just dink and dunk. He can make some big throws, and he's got great placement, great awareness. He's going through all his reads. I mean, you being you appreciate the quarterback. Well, what do you think?
I think he looks good. I think he looks more confident than last year. Devil's advocate, they haven't played anybody good. He hasn't been tested in that. It's only week 4, but it seems like he grasps the offense really, really well. Like his secondary read is strong. Like he knows where to go. Like we saw today with the good Zach Wilson plays and the bad Zach Wilson plays, is when the quarterbacks don't get their first read, they freak out. The biggest example was Aiden O'Connell today in the Raiders game. Is he looks and he doesn't see the first read, he's not open, and he just stands there. Doesn't know where to go, doesn't know to slip out, doesn't have confidence in the secondary read. And Brock Purdy seems really, really confident in it. He's got a ton of weapons. I think he's the perfect manager slash performance player in that San Francisco scheme. So I'm with you. I can't wait to see him tested because I think he's good. I think he's gained confidence than last year. Don't you think?
Yeah, I think so. I think so too. Um, and I think he could string together a Pro Bowl type season. Um,
Wow, Pro Bowl.
I'm thinking Pro Bowl. I think he's in the conversation of one of the Pro Bowl quarterbacks. Obviously he won't play that game because he will be getting ready for a Super Bowl game.
Wow.
There you go.
Here is San Francisco's next upcoming opponents. Dallas next week, at Cleveland, at Minnesota, Cincinnati, at Jacksonville, Tampa Bay. Do you see them losing to any of these games? Cleveland, depending on Deshaun, these are all
my
winnable.
bounce back game. Well, red flag for me was Cleveland. Them losing the way they did, but then again, no Deshaun Watson. But then, what's wrong with Deshaun Watson? You're hoping
Yeah.
he's healthy because it appears without Deshaun Watson, that team's not going to go anywhere.
Yeah, it said it was a shoulder thing.
And then my bounce back, Patrick, today was the Jaguars because they
Oh yeah,
disappointed.
London game.
Yeah, that was the London game. The Toy Story game, I think they did it on one of the channels. Um, but I think that was a big game because they lose to the Texans, which was considered an upset. And the way they lost, the Texans really kicked their asses up and down the field last week. And then to have to fly out to Europe, that
Mm-hmm.
can't be a great flight. You're coming off a loss. Now you got to go through the whole London thing. To win the way they did, I thought that was impressive. So I don't think Jacksonville's a bad team, and I think they're the type of team that could sneak up on a team like the 49ers.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there's all conversations off. We're all focused on Dallas this week, baby.
I could see Jacksonville being the make a run team. I definitely
Yeah,
could see that. The season is really long. You can't write anybody off after week 5, it seems. I mean, Detroit went 1-6 last year and made a run at the playoffs. And then also finally with the Atlanta Jacksonville game, I can finally get off the Desmond Ritter bandwagon because he was terrible.
he was
he,
bad.
he
Today
was
he was
bad.
bad.
So I can get
He was
off the
bad.
bandwagon finally.
Hey, speaking of, let's talk about Thursday's game. Jordan Love was bad.
He
That's
was
a
bad
red
too.
flag. That's a
Oh
red
yeah,
flag.
I could add them in the red flags as Tankapalooza season, and Detroit might be confirmation win.
Do
Detroit looked
you
good.
think? Do you think the Bears tank the rest of the year?
I don't know. That's a good question because I think that coach is on the way out. So why would he want to tank? Because
He's
he's gonna.
new.
I don't think he looks horrible. He looks terrible, man. Is this his first year? I think it's his. I thought it was his second.
I think it's his second.
Yeah, he
But
could totally be
obviously,
fired.
obviously, that call of him not kicking a field goal that was not good.
That was
Um,
not good. That was
that
very
was
Chargers esque.
that was
That was
that
that was
was a,
from the
that was a
Brandon
very
Staley.
boneheaded call. But I think right now, as it stands, I forgot which team they're going to get it from. As it stands today, the Bears would have the top two picks in
Mm-hmm.
the 2024 draft. Tank it.
Take it,
You get
tank
the
it.
top two picks. Yeah, you hope whatever team that they're going to get that other pick that they lose a lot too, and
Mm-hmm.
you get your big stud. You get a quarterback. I saw you get Caleb Williams and
Yeah.
Travis Hunter from Colorado.
Mm. Get a new fresh coach in there. Get a big name in there. Like maybe it's tank time for Chicago. Maybe you can trade away Fields. I mean, he's there's still a lot of value in Fields. Teams would
Yeah,
want Fields.
yeah.
So
A team like Arizona would, I think, consider Fields. Because
that's good.
Kyler Murray's not he may not be a healthy quarterback. Moving
Hmm.
forward. And Dobbs is not as he's not playing terrible.
Yeah,
Niners, I think,
he's gonna be
brought
good for
him
the
back.
rest of this season. Yeah.
But yeah, he may be good, and he may need to be there because who knows what's wrong with Kyler Murray. I don't.
Yeah. I don't
I
think
you
he's
know,
coming back to the Cardinals ever. He seems pissed.
you kind of get that feeling that this isn't the franchise quarterback we thought he was 2-3 years ago. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, and he's of value. They can trade away him or sell his contract and get something from him. So maybe all the pieces are aligning here. This is good points by us. Philly, I had confirmation win. Philly
that's a
and San
confirmation.
Francisco are our only unbeatens now at 4-0. So let's do a quick top 3. If we treated the NFL like college, let's rank 1, 2, and 3. San Francisco and Philly, and then the third is up for grabs. So who do you have as number 1?
49ers,
Philly number 2?
Philly number two.
And who gets our third spot, do you think? Would it be
Oh,
Dallas? Would it be Buffalo? I think those are
wait,
only
wait,
two
could
choices,
it
right?
could it be Kansas City?
Oh, Kansas City. You're right. I forgot about Kansas City. Okay, so number 3,
Could
Dallas,
it be
Buffalo,
what?
Kansas City.
I mean, is a wild card there? Are they a top five team? Or are the Detroit Lions?
No, I think that's like a middle market
Yeah,
conference.
you
Like
don't.
I think that's a
Hey,
Pac-12.
hey, you don't. If you don't like my poll, this is the Carmona poll.
Oh,
This is
sorry.
this is you can disagree with the poll all you want. There you go. Okay, just let me. You asked me my poll.
Yeah, that's true. I did. You caught me on my own on my own faulty logic. True. Okay, so who gets your third?
No, I'm gonna say Kansas City edges out Buffalo.
Okay.
But how about this? But Buffalo, every like it seems like every 4 or 5 games, Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs just remind everybody who they are.
Ah,
Okay. I think this was that game.
yeah. I listened to some of that game on the radio, and here's what I love about radio. I always discover something new. Every time Stephon Diggs catches a play, a pass over 10 yards, the announcer goes, "Can you dig it?" He's got that announcer like one cliche, and he just says it over and over again. And I also like how radio has no shame in selling endless amounts of ad space. Every time there's an extra point. And now the State Farm Extra Point is brought to you by State Farm. And now coming back from the break, we have the All-State kickoff coverage. Like everything has a brought to you by, a something is for. This is just so radio. And I almost think like, how do these guys know this in their head that every extra point is brought to you by this? Every third down is brought to you by this. How do they know this? I don't know. It makes me, that's why I love radio. It's just so ridiculous sometimes. All right, Tampa Bay, New Orleans. Tampa Bay wins. I wrote Tampa Bay might be good, question mark. We don't know. I don't even want to think
They're
about
good.
it.
They're
We
good.
don't know what's
They're
going on
good.
with Tampa Bay.
I
LA
think they could.
Rams. Go ahead. You have thoughts on
Rams.
Tampa Bay? Or you want to go straight into
No,
Rams?
I think that Rams. You couple those Rams, Tampa Bay. There's so much I'd still need to see from them.
Mm-hmm. It was 24-0 at one point. And
Yeah,
then Indianapolis comes back and then Rams win in overtime.
you can
Some
take. The
weird
thing
way.
is, did any team really overly impress you in that game? It's like it's two
Not
games.
really.
Obviously, the Rams won. And incredible that Puka. That's a great
Yeah,
find.
that's a great story.
That's a
Maybe Taylor
great
Swift should have
story.
dated him.
Oh, that was huge. That's an LA thing. That's
Mm-hmm.
you know, maybe down the road that'd be something.
Next year, next
Next
tour.
year, Patrick, opening at SoFi. Um,
Mm.
but nonetheless, no. I mean, you saw some things you really liked about both teams, but then you saw some things you really don't like about both teams.
Yeah.
So I think that's two teams that they'd have to show me a lot more moving forward.
Yeah, I had it in my confirmation win, but maybe like three quarters of that game should have been a confirmation win because they came back on them and the Rams had to win ugly in that one. And also the Rams were wearing their sweatpants uniforms. I don't know who approved of that. They look terrible.
Yeah.
It's not white, it's not gray. Like what about the yellow pants? Yellow pants would be cool.
You call that oatmeal? Is that oatmeal? That's not
Yeah,
oatmeal. Or
it's like
cold
a
oatmeal.
it's bad.
Yeah.
It's really bad. All right, it's time. Las Vegas Raiders were at the LA Chargers today. No Jimmy G, concussion
Oh, you know
protocol.
what? You had Jimmy G.
I
That's what you guys got. You had Jimmy G. That
well,
was
well,
that
first
was
question, do you
Jimmy
think he
G.
was really concussed or he was like, I'm out on this game. I don't want to
I don't
play.
know.
I'm seeing stars
No,
still.
what I'm saying, O'Connell was Jimmy G today.
Yeah, they really weren't that different. Although I think Jimmy G could make it to that second read. O'Connell could not. Although O'Connell got in a groove in the second part of this game. So number one with the game, no matter what, even though the Raiders went down 24-7, I was like, hold on. This is the Chargers. They're going to let us back in this game
At some
somehow,
point, right?
some way. We're getting back in this game. Don't even worry. And sure enough, they did. And the Chargers, the Brandon Staley classic, go for it on 4th and 1 again, and they don't get it again. They did the same thing. He gets Justin Herbert's hand injured in the game. It was classic Chargers. How many times over has Brandon Staley saved his own career, saved his own
Right.
job this year? Insane, these Chargers. First of all, okay, we got Aiden O'Connell. He's wearing number 4, so now I can reprise my Derek Carr from last year's shirt, and now I can just call it an Aiden O'Connell shirt. And I have that. So I can now get on that bandwagon. Aiden O'Connell even looks like Derek Carr in uniform as well. So it's not that far a trip in there. And then I also decided to call the Raiders the LA Raiders this week because they're in town and 60% of the crowd was LA Raiders anyway. And then here's where the dam starts to break for the Raiders. Aiden O'Connell has two first half fumbles that both lead to touchdowns in the game. The Chargers, I said it, go for it on 4th and 1. They don't get it, giving O'Connell a shot. We're inside the 10, and he throws I don't know if you call it a misread or he didn't see the guy and he throws an interception. Chargers get the ball. The Raiders have a chance to stop them on offense. They don't. This was the game I was talking about where there was one offensive pass interference called against the Raiders. And then there was the big game-sealing bomb from Herbert where the Chargers guy could have pushed off, could have easily been called a push-off. They do not call it on that. We had an ejection in this game. One of the Raiders guy hit Herbert clearly out of bounds.
Former teammate.
Former teammate. They kick him out of the game. Crosby came through, which I was had. The Raiders D looked good for a large portion of this game. I was really, I was almost settled that this game was going to be a loss. I was like, don't worry about this loss. We're going to have a shot. Just try not to be bummed out about it. Okay, as much as these Raiders struggle and look like a total mess, Josh Jacobs and Devontae Adams really tried hard in this game. Jacobs is like fighting for first downs. Devontae Adams goes out of this game with an injury at one point, comes back.
That shoulder did not look good.
It didn't look good, and he comes back, and he's completely fighting for his QB. Even Hunter Renfrow caught a couple balls for it. Yeah. So I even though, I mean, this loss is still terrible, but they're 1-3. Season's very long. They had some fight in them, which I really like, but I think the coaching's bad. I think the coaching is horrible for the Raiders. Like, have we ever heard of a screen pass? Have we ever heard of the little wide receiver screen? Does every single pass play have to be a 5-step drop, look down the field? Oh, wait, it's not open, sack. You know?
Well, where are the Raiders gonna go in the offseason?
Coaching. I think it's coaching. Look how creative the 49ers offense is. Look how creative the Chiefs are. Okay. Wasn't McDaniels a good offensive coordinator? Where is it? We've never seen it.
Well, you're right, but can you still win? You think you can win with Jimmy G?
He went to a Super Bowl, didn't he?
Okay, now you're sounding like me like a few years ago.
Well, here's my argument though, Omar, is say you have a game manager and you have a good offensive scheme, that's doable. That is completely workable. He went to a Super Bowl. Today, Zach Wilson, we saw it, game manager. They had a game plan that worked. I think you have to get creative with the offense. You can't depend on, I mean, how many quarterbacks can you depend on to put a team on their shoulders? None but 5 quarterbacks in the league.
That's true too. That's not good.
It's a hard position. And I don't think we have the coaching to do it. I mean, what does Josh McDaniels do? Everything is simple offensive plays. And it's like, no wonder he gets sacked all the time. No wonder the defense figures them out after the first drive of the game.
Yeah, really.
So I think it's coaching. I mean, O'Connell played good for subbing in. I also like how they zoomed in on his wife in the stands. I mean, that's just to be horrible. Your husband's in the game and you know a camera's on you during the game. Yeah. That's brutal. Converted a great 4th and 11 to Devontae.
For sure, yeah. That was good.
It was a great game. And
Devontae's a playmaker.
He's so good. And the fact that they're stepping up for their QB, I thought was a really, really nice sign. I don't think this is going to translate into wins. I'll be honest with you right now. I don't think we have coaching to beat the Chargers.
Yeah, right.
Unfortunately, our one win is against the Broncos. So that was a bummer. Complete bummer. That being said, we got bailed out by a couple of BS roughing calls and one unsportsmanlike conduct as well by the Chargers too. So thank you, Chargers, for letting us in this game. But not all hope is lost because we play the Bears at some point during this year.
Yep.
So, all right, that was the Sunday games. Your team is still undefeated. I am wearing a Derek Carr crossed out Aiden O'Connell jersey. That was a good Sunday. I think we learned a lot, although the season is still very, very long. So,
Very long season.
all right. So, no Sunday night talk is complete without the Sunday night game, Omar.
I like it. Let's do it.
So, you know how we do it. We always play a game. Week 1, we had the classic Ask Mom game. And,
Right.
that's a crowd favorite. I hear it all the time. So, this week, for the first time ever, the season premiere, the world premiere, if you will, is Ask Dad.
Oh, I like it.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. The crowd was calling for it. Everybody knows my mom, but now it's time to ask my dad, Patrick Ramirez's dad, Art Ramirez. People who don't know my dad looks like Chevy Chase from National Lampoon's Summer Vacation. That's what my dad looks like. So, you know how the game works. I asked my dad a series of questions. You are going to guess his answers. You're going to see if he can get this right. So, are you ready, Omar?
Let's do it.
All right, you know my dad pretty well, so I think you have a shot at this. So, here we go. Let's start the game.
Let's do it.
What instrument did Paul McCartney play in the Beatles?
Your dad knows that.
Okay, my dad is a big Beatles fan.
He knows that.
All right, do you know that? Do you know what he played?
The guitar.
Okay, more specific?
Was he was the bassist. Yeah, it was the bassist, wasn't he?
All right, let's find out.
He played, I believe, a guitar, of course, and it was rhythm guitar, not bass. As close as I can get it.
All right, the correct answer was Paul McCartney played the bass. So, 0 for 1 for my dad.
Yeah.
It's almost like a music fan question. If you know music, you know what artists play what. All right, here we go. Let's continue. Okay, number 2. In the movie The Godfather, what actor plays Sonny Corleone?
Does he know?
Do
And
you
it's
know what actor played Sonny Corleone?
James Caan.
All right, so you know it. That is correct. But does Pat's dad know?
He knows. Your dad likes movies.
Yeah, that's true. He does. He does. But does he know this detail? Because this is a bit of a deep cut.
It's a deep cut.
All right. The answer is James Caan. Let's find out if my dad knows.
Oh my God. What's his last
Oh
name?
shit.
He's struggling.
Sonny. Oh my God. It starts with a C. Something can. I know. CAAN.
Ooh.
There you go. Wow. Hey,
Mm.
that's the one. He knows.
Got to give him credit for that. He spelled it right, yet pronounced it wrong and didn't know his first name. But I think you got to give him.
Stretched. He stretched the football, and he just got it into the pylon.
Okay. Oh, good analogy. Let's continue. The Dallas Cowboys won their first Super Bowl in 1972, Super Bowl VI. What team did they beat?
He's not gonna remember.
Why do you say that?
Hold on, and let me make sure that I remember. That was their first Super Bowl, right?
Yeah, what team did the Dallas Cowboys beat for their first Super Bowl win? My dad is a Dallas Cowboys fan, is why I asked him this. Although, I would argue my dad is, kind of a Dallas Cowboys fan.
He's a Dallas Cowboys fan, and he would have watched the game.
Yep.
And it was the Dolphins that they beat.
Okay, you're correct. You know the answer.
Okay. It was the Dolph, but he saw the game and he knows it was Tom Landry. He would know that. Um, just would he remember specifically? It was the Dolphins. Like, would he think maybe like the Raiders, maybe, or so I'm gonna say no. He does not remember that specific team.
Okay, I'm going to lock you in on a no.
Uh, hang on. Let me think. 72.
By the way, my dad has no internal monologue. I mean, you know this. What's in his head, he says.
Yes.
Hang on. Baltimore. I don't
Mm.
Oh. And they had
What?
played.
You were correct.
They had played the year before.
Yeah, and they lost to Baltimore, so that was in his head.
They lost to the Colts.
Yeah, he must have had that image in his head, and that's why he dug that one out. Okay, but you were right. You got it correct. All right.
remember.
Besides Troy Aikman, Michael Irvin, and Emmitt Smith, name one Cowboy from the 90s era team. Okay, this is really testing my dad's fandom here. Does my dad know someone beyond those three?
Would he? Well, let's. Would we give him credit if he were to say Dion? So not the first two Cowboys teams, but he was on the third Super Bowl they won.
That's 90s era, so I would say that's
Okay.
credit. That's
Okay,
a
that's
credit.
credit.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the one player I'm thinking. I mean, would he'd remember it's the thing. Specifically, he'd have to remember Leon Lett. He was at the game with you guys. You guys were there. I'm sure that's a memory that still burns. I would imagine he carries that memory with him. So I'm gonna say yes. He'll name Leon Lett.
You know why you're brilliant, Omar, is this is why you know my dad. My dad is not so much fans of players he likes, more so he is very invested in players he hates. If he has a deep hatred of some
Leon Lett.
players. So the Dion thing tracks, the Leon Lett thing tracks. Maybe even like if he had said Barry Switzer, it wouldn't surprise me because these are people he hates,
Right.
So I like your logic on this.
I think he would I think he would have a good feeling of Moose Johnston, but I don't think he'd remember his name.
Yeah, like I would not say Moose Johnson. He wouldn't say Tony Tolbert. He wouldn't say those people.
Jay Novacek.
He wouldn't say Jay Novacek. Yeah, he would. So your logic is tracking, but let's find out if my dad.
Would your dad remember a Hispanic? Tony Casillas.
Tony Casillas. That's true. I could see that. My dad he is like that sometimes. All right, let's find out.
From the 90s era team. Hang on. What was the guy? Lett. The guy that ran and was clowning around and he dropped the football. Something Lett.
You nailed it, Omar. You nailed it. He remembers the guy who fucked up.
He was clowning around.
He was clowning around. You got it. You are 3 questions correct, 1 wrong. You got it. Perfect. Perfect line of thinking there. Very good. All right, let's continue.
That's how much I can tell you. Let me think of one more. Who else played there?
Oh, he's still going.
No, it's the only one I know.
Oh, it's the only one he knows. Name a movie that Tommy Lee Jones is in besides The Fugitive or No Country for Old Men. Okay, back to movies.
That's kind of an asshole thing to do.
What are you talking about? It's his favorite actor. My dad loves Tommy Lee Jones.
Okay. Would he remember? He remembers U.S. Marshals.
All right, you're sitting on a 3-1 lead right now. Does my
remembers
dad
he
know?
remembers one of the Batmans.
Oh, that's right. He was in Batman, one of the Batmans.
Forever.
That's right.
Batman Forever.
Yeah,
Um,
yep, that's true. You could go Batman Forever, like you said, U.S. Marshals. Um,
The Fugitive, you already said, right?
yeah. Well,
You couldn't
besides the
use,
fugitive
yeah, he
and
couldn't use that one.
Ken uses two big ones.
The Client.
How about Under Siege 2? Remember
Mm,
that one? Tommy Lee Jones was excellent in that one. Same director too as The Fugitive.
I really liked The Client a lot.
The Client, that's right. He was in
That
that
was
as
a great
well.
movie.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Um,
Can my dad name any of those movies, do you think?
yes, I want to say yes.
Okay, let's find out.
Let me think. Uh, besides the fugitive, right? U.S. Marshals.
Hmm. You got it. 4-1. All right, you were on a streak here. All right, let's see what else I got.
U.S. Marshals.
Good one. What does the term DM stand for?
Does not know.
Now we're getting into some pop culture. Does my dad know what the term
Does
DM stands
not
for?
know.
Wow, you sound confident. Let's find out.
DM. DM.
He's gonna think some medical term.
Demilitarized zone. I don't know.
Oh,
Correct. My dad does not know what DM stands for. He thought it was demilitarized zone. All right, very good. You're on a hot streak here.
Demilitarized zone.
Mm-hmm. What actor played Fletch? All right, I mentioned my dad looks like Chevy Chase from National Lampoon's Vacation, but can he name Chevy Chase? Because the answer to this question is Chevy Chase.
That's another thing. It's a movie I know he watched. You know what I mean? Like I know he saw the movie. But
Yeah.
again, that was a long time ago, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That's a long time ago, even by our standards now, you know.
Yeah. My dad's
So,
memory is kind of spotty and selective at
I'm gonna
times.
say he does not remember. He's gonna remember his face, but he's not gonna remember. Oh, we'll even remember. And then I think maybe he would, if he remembers the face, then he should remember. Oh, this one's a tough one. I'm gonna guess no. No
All right.
reason.
Omar goes with no.
Fletch. This guy came out on vacation. What's his name? Did all the vacation movies, summer vacation. Oh God, I
Sticking it out.
I don't remember his name. Yeah.
Yeah, remember, like I said, he may remember his name.
Yeah,
Like his face, I mean. Remember, he'd remember his face, would remember his name.
yeah, he was trying hard on that one, and he didn't get it. He couldn't pull it out. He couldn't pull out Chevy
got it
Chase.
again. I got it again.
You got it again. All right. 2 more questions. Or a couple more questions. Pebble Beach Golf Course is located in what state?
California.
Okay, you know it.
He'll know. He'll know.
He'll know. Okay.
California.
You know what's crazy? That was the one he had no hesitation on.
Yeah.
It was so easy for. I don't know how he knew that one, but he couldn't figure out Chevy Chase or James Caan.
I think when he was a young doctor, I think that he was probably in a time where he really liked watching golf and appreciated golf. And so I think there was a huge 80s craze.
Maybe you're right.
That came out of California golf, and obviously it's centered around, I think, the Pebble Beach Golf Club.
Yeah, maybe you're right. I mean, that one surprised me the most, is that I'm like, where's Pebble Beach? What state? California. No hesitation. So you have got you've got 6 correct, 1 wrong coming into the home stretch. All right, next question.
Okay, Leo, one for 10 now.
This is my dad talking off mic, of course. Like when I hit record, that means my whole family speaks. No one can settle down for 2 seconds. One person who has been on the cover of Playboy magazine. Now, this one is interesting. I'm just going to say that.
He is going to say Hugh Hefner. And he's going to realize that, oh, well, Hugh's been on his own cover.
Interesting. So that would be I think that would be a no. I mean, the question is name a woman who's been on the cover.
I thought you said name someone.
Well, I didn't say a woman in the question, but I mean, I think the answer I think it would infer that I'm looking for a woman's name, don't you think?
I don't know. I don't know. Anybody. I mean, you could think celebrities have been on the cover of Playboy before.
Who's been on the cover of Playboy that wasn't like a Playmate?
Well, remember, like they've gone like to no nude anymore, right?
I think Playboy is very tame now.
Yeah, so I mean, like they have to put like celebs on it.
Mm-hmm. So what do you think? Give me an answer.
I think he's gonna say Hugh Hefner, but
okay.
So I think he's gonna say Hugh Hefner. So I don't think he's gonna name a female. I don't think he's gonna name. Oh, could he name someone like Anna Nicole Smith or Pam Anderson? Those are the only two I'm thinking. Pam Anderson, Anna Nicole Smith.
So you're
Christy
thinking
Brinkley. Would he remember Christy Brinkley? I mean, yeah, she was.
Was she on the cover of Playboy? Or are you thinking Sports Illustrated swimsuit?
Yeah, I'm thinking Sports Illustrated there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Pam Anderson, Anna Nicole Smith. No, he's not gonna remember.
All right.
The famous actor. God, the guy converted the transgender guy. What's his name? Whatever his name is.
Well, like, how can my dad screw this question up? He thinks Bruce Jenner was on the cover of Playboy. Hold on.
He was thinking of Vanity Fair. The Vanity Fair.
I'm just gonna keep playing it because this continues, Omar.
That's the guy. Let me think.
That's the guy.
Oh my God. That's what I get for. That's the guy.
Hold on. Did you catch that last part?
What did he say?
Oh my God. That's what I get for drinking too many Manhattans. My brain's slipping.
What is my dad talking about?
Anyway, the guy that's a transgender and now has changed his name to something else.
For Playboy?
Yeah. Oh, Playboy.
Name one person who's been on the cover of Playboy magazine.
Oh.
Have you ever read Playboy magazine?
Yes, I have.
Oh, you
Okay.
have?
Okay. No.
Look at this reveal that my dad has read Playboy magazine.
Manhattan.
When did you have Playboy magazine?
We used to have them when I was in medical school. I had a couple of Playboys. What was the question? I'm sorry.
Oh, that's weird.
That came on the cover of Playboy magazine?
Well, it would be a woman. Name one woman who's on the cover of Playboy magazine.
Okay. Raquel Welch.
Wow. Raquel Welch was on the cover of Playboy magazine in 1979.
Wow.
Yeah, where did he get? That was a shot clock is running out and my dad drained a 3 from 35 feet.
Yeah, impressed.
Unbelievable. My dad reads Playboy magazine and he knew Raquel Welch was on the cover of Playboy magazine. All right, let's get it back. 2 more questions, Omar. Can you get this? Okay. A couple more. Who was the lead actress in the movie Basic Instinct?
He'll remember Sharon Stone.
You're going yes on this one. You sound confident. I just like hearing my dad answer vaguely sexual questions. You know, he gets very flustered. He starts talking a lot. It's pretty funny. All right, so you said yes.
Meryl Streep.
Incorrect, Omar.
Ouch.
Incorrect. Although I would like to see Meryl Streep's version of Basic Instinct, wouldn't you?
That would be something else.
All right, here we go. Last one. Stallone or Schwarzenegger? All right, this is an either or. Is my dad
Okay, either or.
Stallone or Schwarzenegger?
He likes Stallone and Rocky.
You think Rocky is the one?
He's Rocky over the Terminator.
All right, here we go. I'm going to lock you in on Stallone. Who's your favorite? You got to pick one.
Definitely Stallone. Definitely Stallone.
Definitely.
Definitely. All right, you finish up strong there, Omar. Nice work. That was Ask Dad. First installment ever. I thought it went really well.
Good job.
Excellent answers by my dad. You know, that's a little window into my upbringing, Omar.
I like it.
All right. We're going to take a break, come right back with the awards. All right, the awards for week 4 in the NFL. Really fun week. I had a lot of fun with these. Let's see what you think here. Award number 1, best quote of the day. I have 2 nominees. This was from the Chargers-Raiders game when Justin Herbert goes into the blue tent and comes out with a huge wrap on his left hand and goes back into the game. The announcer's quote is, "I haven't seen anything like this since Steve DeBerg."
That was that's the best.
I got a kick out of that one, and I was a little mad at the production team for not digging up a Steve DeBerg picture from the 90s when Steve DeBerg had his hand like wrapped in what looked like a full-on claw, and he played with this huge thing on there. And quote number 2 from Chris Collinsworth in the middle of the game to Mike Tirico about Zach Wilson: "He can throw. He can throw. Mike, he can throw." Chris Collinsworth coming in hot with another quote. My winner is the Steve DeBerg one, but I do like Collinsworth just going full Zach Wilson apologist this Sunday. What's your favorite quote of the day?
I'll pick your number 2 then. That was awesome.
Yeah, he can throw. He can throw. Mike, he can throw. Award number 2, hot take. Mine is very simple. You could probably see it coming from a mile away. Josh McDaniels is not finishing this season. There's
No way.
We have 3 to
No
4
way.
more horrible losses waiting for us this year. There's no way. That's my hot take. I don't even know if it's hot. Josh McDaniels does finish this.
No.
I hope he doesn't finish this season.
No, that's
Why do we think
No
this
way.
was a good hire? I don't know.
hot take. The Bears do tank the rest of the season. It's over.
Again, I hope they do that.
Yeah, it's over.
All right. Award number 3, Best Innovation Award. You know what my best innovation is today? And we saw it in the Sunday night game. The safety. The safety is a really cool innovation. It's really rare. You get 2 points and the ball. And you know the weirdest thing about the safety? It's also a position played by a defensive player. It's very confusing that they name something the safety as well as a position on the field as well. Also, you could say that about tackle. There is an offensive lineman position called the tackle, but also tackle is a verb that you use to bring someone down. Are you all 100% on the safety being worth 2 points, or should we make it be worth more points?
Oh, I like where it's at. I think it's a fair 2.
Yeah, it's really weird because you get the 2 and they have to punt you the ball.
Yeah, and you get the ball back, so it's not only 2, but it's a change of possession. So I do like that.
I also like how sometimes the safety is used by the offense as a way to run out the clock and give the free kick to it.
And then a free kick down.
Yeah, I like it.
I mean, I'm sure you never want to be in a position like that, but but that's the move, right?
Yeah, that's my best innovation of the week is the safety. What about you,
my best
Carmona?
Innovation is I forgot what kicker was it right now that tried to kick a 50-something yarder and hit the goalpost.
The Jets kicker hit the goalpost in their game today.
Right? Yeah, he hit the goalpost, and I'm going to say the innovation of moving the field goalpost 10 yards back
Ah.
from when it used to be in the goal line. I think
That's a good
I
one.
think that's a pretty smart innovation.
Sometimes humans do something that make us say like, are we smart or are we dumb? Because not only did
Like,
the goalpost used to be, right in the end zone, it also used to be two goalposts with
yeah,
pads on them. And then we turned into genius, like, let's make it one. And then we just kept hitting it. And then we moved it to the back of the end zone. And thus the world was right.
isn't that crazy? Isn't that nuts that that's what
Maybe we're not
happened?
that smart. Yes, good innovation. Good pick, Omar. Award number 4, the cringeworthy award. I have 2 nominees. Maybe you could even make it 1 nominee. I have first cringeworthy award. The whole Mac Jones Bill Belichick relationship is really bad. Really,
It's
really
bad.
bad.
And Pat, those were some real bad throws. Those were some
The
bad, like those
interceptions
were
were bad.
those
The
were
fumbles
those
were
were
bad.
those were a rookie mistake. Those were a second start rookie
Yeah.
uh throws. That's not what you want to see from your quarterback in his what, third, fourth year on the job.
Yeah, I think it's his third.
It's his yeah, you just don't want to see that from your star quarterback, right?
Yeah, it's so cringeworthy. And to add insult to injury, everywhere on the highlights, while they flash the score of the Dallas blowout over the Patriots, they're doing the Bill Belichick slow motion with his hand over his face like this, and it's going all slow like that. And he's like, very Steve Spurrier esque. Remember when Steve Spurrier did the when he was the head coach, and they kept playing it in slow motion as just a video homage to how bad it was going. So I'm lumping in the Bill Belichick hand over the face as well in my cringeworthy award.
Cringeworthy award uh from football, because I do have a separate cringeworthy award.
Oh,
Um uh wow, what would be, I mean, wow, those that Mac those Mac Jones throws um were absolutely terrible.
maybe Mac
Um
Jones' arm in general is cringeworthy.
ooh, that was very cringeworthy. But just watching the Bears Broncos, two
Mm.
bad teams, that was very cringeworthy. Watching the Panthers is very
Oh.
cringeworthy. There's some very cringeworthy teams out there. But from a non-football, with all the problems in the world, I really enjoy the Ryder Cup. It's
Mm.
it's a wonderful, wonderful sport, the game of golf, and it's a wonderful traditional tournament. But watching these guys get pissed at each other like they're trying to have fights out in the parking lot, that's just giving yourselves like a lot more like cred than take it easy, okay? You guys gotta
Oh,
really take it easy.
so
It's
Ryder
just
Cup parking lot
yes.
fights.
Like I love the competitiveness, but there was like some issues in the parking lot, and it's just like, guys, you guys are a bunch of rich guys, and we're having the boys' weekend basically filled. You know what I mean? It's like, and they're paying, it's just take it easy
That's not bad. That's a deep pull. I like that. I watched a
like
little
that.
Ryder Cup because we didn't have an early game CBS here on the West Coast, so they had a Ryder Cup going. I don't know how the hell it scored. I don't know what the hell's going on in it. So it's almost like cricket. You're like, what the hell is going on? How do you keep score?
Well, I
What's
mean, I
going
do know how
on?
they
I'm watching.
score. It's on a per
Yeah.
match basis. Sometimes it's twosomes, and then for 2 days it's twosomes, and then for the last day it's uh,
See,
solos.
you don't know how it's scored.
Yeah, it's individuals matching up against each
I
other.
think the final
So
score was like 14 and a third to 13 and a half. It was really strange, Omar. The graphic confused me. I don't know what the
yeah,
hell was. I do like their clothes though. They wear like cool matching.
they always wear their matching
They wear
outfits.
cool. Yeah, I like that.
But like it just seems that's cringeworthy to me. With all the problems in the world right now, having little arguments in the parking lot, that's cringeworthy to me.
Wow, Campaign Carmona advocates for peace.
I'm a man of the people.
Yes, yes, you are. All right, next award, best costume design. I got 3 nominees. I lumped them all into one, and this
Ooh,
was
I got a good one.
NFL uniforms. The Jets throwbacks looked very sharp tonight.
Oh, as always, yeah, and they're always going to take the award. So I gave them the first time I saw it in that Monday night game. They'll always have that for
Yeah,
me.
I thought if they won tonight against Kansas City, I was like, you should just wear these uniforms all year. Fuck it. Wear them all year. They're good luck. They look good. You won 2 great games in them. Never change. So I went the Jets throwbacks, but I also included the Houston red uniform, red jersey, red helmets. And
Okay,
yeah, and I like the Arizona going white on white against your
I
49ers
love
today.
that one.
Yeah.
Arizona, although I was obviously not cheering for them today, that was a very clean white on white, right? Like it just
Yeah.
seemed clean, very conservative yet modern, you know?
Mm-hmm. It almost
Um,
looked like a college team too, but it looked good. I
right,
liked it.
right. I love the Arizona, but to me, Houston wins the week. That red on red. So
Mm-hmm.
here's my thought. Right now, Texas, I'm political Carmona, because I'm campaigning Carmona right now. And the hot take for me, while Texas is a red state, the Texans should be wearing red on red. When the Blues take it back, then the Texans need to change their color.
Oh, I see. So depending on how the state votes, the football team should
Right.
represent that majority or that
What
party
do you
in
think?
office.
Is that too political? Is that NFL going way too political?
I like that. Well, I like it. What's the tie-in with Houston, though? No. Austin is the state capital,
Yeah.
but we don't have a
Still,
football team in Austin.
we're the Texans.
The
Right.
Texans. That's right.
Texans.
Very good. So you got red and blue. So what's the party in office now? Are you like what would determine this? The governor's party?
We'll have to do the governor's party.
Governor. And what's the governor of Texas now? What's his party?
They're Republican right now. And
Republican.
right now it would be a red stranglehold.
So you got to go red. Got to go red, Houston, Texas, to represent the party. And then when a new party goes in, back to blue.
What do you think?
Would you go as far as going the elephant or the donkey?
No, you gotta
Too much?
too much politics there.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, you are campaign Carmona, so I default to you. Next award. This one's called Advice Alley, and I have one piece of advice, and it's to New England, and you have to draft a quarterback next year. I think this relationship is tarnished. I can't see
Yeah.
Mac Jones doing a 4th year, so it's time to look for a new QB.
Yeah.
That's my advice, Alley, to Bill Belichick and the management. What about you? What's your advice this week?
You know, Shanahan, my guys, late in the game, McCaffrey, I would have liked to have seen him on the bench a little earlier.
Oh, conservative Carmona now wants to rest his players. Be safe.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. Have him on the bench. Well, not bad. It is a long season. Like we're going to have injuries. It's going to happen. So rest the players. Be safe. And you got Dallas next week.
Yeah, come on.
All right, next award. My favorite of the lot, the Sunday double feature. You know what struck me about today was it's the first day of October. School is back in session. College football is also in full swing right now. Our teams are set. So I got a very boarding school, back to school fall vibe today. So you know what movie I picked to watch after all these games? The movie School Ties, starring Brendan Fraser, Matt Damon, a young Ben Affleck on there about a young man who goes to a boarding school. I think it was in the 50s. And he has to hide his Jewish faith. And there's even a football scene in that movie.
Yeah,
I went School Ties.
I like it.
Yeah, I love when Matt Damon is like a shit heel in movies. He plays that really well.
Yeah. My does it have to be a football movie?
No, it's totally open. The double feature is up to you, Campaign Carmona. You have total independence.
I would like to feel inspired, and I would like to watch The Dead Poet Society.
Oh, I almost went with that one too. With the school, back to school vibe in some sort of like New England area
There
of
you
the
go.
country. Yeah, Dead
The,
Poet
the, the, the
Society.
fall the fall leaves on the ground.
Oh, Captain, my Captain.
Mm-hmm.
That was a great movie. I might switch mine. I'd want to see Dead Poet Society. Like that movie. Last award. Who won the week? Omar, kick us off.
The NFC, the top dogs of the NFC, San Francisco, Philadelphia, they have developed a gap between themselves and the rest of the league. So that they won the week.
I went with Buffalo, but not just Buffalo winning. I went with Buffalo in general. They bounced back. They beat a really good opponent. And also, how beautiful did Buffalo look today? The sun was out. The fans are
Yeah,
cheering. So a little piggyback onto that, I went with fall weather won the week. Every single game was perfect weather conditions today. I didn't see any rain
yeah,
or any
that was
clouds
nice. I'm
anywhere.
with you.
New York looked
I'm with
awesome.
I'm with
So
you on that.
fall weather won the week for me. So that was week 4 in the NFL. We have one more game to pick. And that is Monday night, Seattle at the New York Giants. Quick turnaround. Sunday night football in New York, Monday night football in New York. Seattle is giving 1.5 to the New York Giants. Omar, pick the Monday night game.
I'm gonna say that the Giants they get a win. This hopefully is a turning point to them. I still think there is some talent on the team. They have not been playing up to par, that's for sure. But I think this is a game that they can get back into the swing of things. I'm also not overly impressed with Seattle. Still, I'm still not sold on Geno Smith. I respect what he's done, but I'm not sold on it. So I'm going to go with the Giants.
Hard to argue with that, Campaign Carmona. I don't know if we know Saquon Barkley's status, but I'm with you. I think the Giants have a lot of questions, but I'm also not sold on Seattle. So let's go with my heart and let's pick the Giants on this week, Monday night. Well, Omar Carmona, that was week 4 on the Sunday Night Talk. Your San Francisco Niners are undefeated. And I'm wearing an Aiden O'Connell jersey. So week 4, everyone. Thank you, Omar Carmona. Thank you, listeners. And I will see you next week. Thank you, Omar. That's it. That is the show. That is the Sunday Night Talk for week 4 in the NFL. That was a whole lot of Taylor Swift conspiracy. That was a whole lot of Zach Wilson arguments for, against. I don't know where we came that on. Also, that was Ask Dad. Ask my dad. I don't know if you play along with it, but how'd you do? Did you do well as Campaign Carmona did? A lot of interesting answers there I found. A little window into the psyche that is my dad. Hey, don't forget, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe to it. All my videos are up there. Interviews, comedy, my movie series, not to mention the Sunday Night Talk is there every week. So, how are you feeling? It's officially fall. Is your team good? Are they not good? Like me? Is it time to tank it? Those are questions you have to answer yourself. Well, forget about all that, because you can see me doing live stand-up comedy this week, October 4th, 7:30, West Hollywood, Tale o' the Pup. I'm hosting it. It's a lot of fun. It's going to be a whole lot of me. So come and check it out. So thank you, everyone, for listening. Thank you, Omar Carmona. For me, Patrick Ramirez, on the Running Back Network. I will see you next week.